Hey guys, my name is Haley and we're starting my next weekly vlog. This one's going to be a little bit different because for the first 2 days of said vlog, it is now Sunday. I usually vlog until Thursday and then edit and upload on Fridays for these vlogs. If you've missed my last one, it's linked down below. It was like an hour long and more people, or at least a handful of people, seemed to like that, and I also quite liked that content. So we're going to try and stick to that. I might also continue to do, if you liked my last video of adding my TikToks into the vlog, let me know. Because I know not everybody uses or has TikTok, and with the current new terms and conditions that are coming, it might be more beneficial to just throw them in my vlogs here and there, because I've been chatting over there about the issues in the world and things that I find personally annoying. So we're going to start a vlog for this week. I am nannying overnight for the next 2 days. So I'm hoping, depending on how it goes with the kiddos, I will not be filming around them because that is not okay. And anybody that's doing that, please think about your choices, especially if it's not your kid. I have the witch's brew. I know a lot of people were saying that these tasted different from last year. Let's see if I can do this without dropping my camera. But people were saying that these tasted different from last year. I don't think they do, but I also was not one of the people that was drinking one every day. So we're going to need all the caffeine we can get. I am literally reading nothing right now because the Christian nationalism book that I talked about last week made me angry, and I already kind of want to get rid of it. So we'll see if I ever go back to that. And then I am still in the middle of the 4th Dungeon Crawler Carl book. So I might be picking at that. I just got a bunch of library holds in. So we will see if any of those spark my interest. I might talk about them later when I think about it. But yeah, we're just starting off the vlog. It's going to be weird. I might try to film clips when the kids are in the other room and hopefully asleep this evening. But as someone who doesn't love doing night shift when it comes to childcare, we'll see. Because I don't do all that great without a lot of sleep. So we'll see how this goes. Wish me luck. Hello, long time no update because working overnight is exhausting, especially when it's for children. Oh, I should bring my table down here, shouldn't I? This is too revealing. Jesus. Anyways, this is the weirdest angle ever, but this is what we're dealing with right now. Or I could put you up here. Does this work? Are you gonna fall? Is that crooked? I'm not sure how much I care. I think it might be crooked. Is that better? That's what we're going with. Anyway, I wanted to give an update. So I am on the floor. Let's see. Where was the other book? Oh, here it is. So, what I have read since we last spoken. I don't even think I said I was going to read anything. So we're just going to assume I said nothing in the last clip. Besides starting the vlog. I have been doing overnight shifts, nannying, watching kids. Therefore, I really can't film. So, it is now Tuesday night. I've been intending to do a weekly vlog. I haven't filmed shit. So, we're back. And I have read a little bit more of Matt Dittman's The Gate of the Feral Gods, which is the 4th Dungeon Crawler Carl book. I'm enjoying that. It's a little slower than the other one, so I'm reading it kind of slowly. And then I decided to DNF, if you were here for my last vlog, to vlog. I'm running purely on caffeine and a nap today because I was up all night with the baby. I'm deciding to DNF another gospel because it made me so angry. I think I made it 50 pages. If you want to hear me rant about this, please go watch my next vlog because I can't handle whatever that man believes and thought deserved to be in a book. This is We Can Save Us All. I read, I want to say almost 150. Oh my god, I was right before part 2. I didn't even know that. I read 139 pages, which was 2 pages away from part 2 apparently. I can't decide if this is an actual DNF or a soft DNF because one, I've never heard anybody talk about this. Two, it's like about these like pretentious college kids who do a lot of drugs, and it has something to do with like pre-apocalyptic Princeton students. I know it's dealt with sexual assault. I can't decide if this is a hard DNF or not. I put it as a DNF on Goodreads and Bookly. I've been using Bookly as my reading tracker, but like Goodreads is a backup basically this year, so I don't think Bookly is public though, which is the only downside to it. But yes, I did read almost like half of this book. We'll see if I end up finishing it or not. And then I started going through my shelves. I can't decide if I want to keep All Roads Lead Here. I really liked it. I like Mariana Zapata. But I also am trying very much to keep the books that I have with me in a smaller number, or at least keep the same amount that I came here with, so that we're able to pack them in the car and such in case of moving. Because there's a possibility of us moving again before the end of the year because we're living with people temporarily. That's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. But anyways, I started going through here. I decided, I don't even think I've talked about this yet. It'll be in my wrap up more. Ooh, let's not break the mic. I read this. I enjoyed it. I like the video game aspect of it. I hated with a burning fiery passion both main characters. The character I cared about was done dirty, and that's all I'm going to say about that because of spoilers. And I hated our main two characters. I hated them so much. And it really brought this down from like a 4-ish star and a really cool concept to like, I keep docking it. I think it's currently at a 3. I might drop it to 2 stars because the more I think about this book, the more I absolutely despise both main characters. And I didn't understand why there was supposed to be some sort of romance because I didn't want them together because they were both infuriating. So yeah, if you've read this book, I also, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I remember people talking about Gabrielle Zevin being a Zionist. If you know anything about that, please let me know in the comments down below, because that was also a reason I couldn't remember when I started reading this. But I also have a bunch of like dog ears because I liked certain quotes and stuff about the video game world specifically, but everything else about this book I fucking hated. It's the weirdest situation I've been in. So I've been compiling some books for some little free libraries. This is just one I got in a little free library, and I was like, oh, I'll bring it with me. I have no interest in it. It's about people in Paris. Not my genre. And then I tried to read this. It's called The Animals in That Country. It's supposedly about a pandemic, I believe, set in Australia, where animals can talk. And I just feel like that is not my vibe. I read the first chapter. I basically did a try of chapter to figure out what I was in the mood for. And it turns out I was in the mood for nothing yesterday after being up all night with an infant. So could also be my mood, could be the books. But I am slowly whittling away at the books that I brought with me to keep them at, I think I brought 30, maybe 40, 30 books. This bottom shelf is nonfiction and above there is fiction, so we've been picking at those. I might actually try to read more of this and see if I was just in a bad mood yesterday. That's where I'm at with reading. I am enjoying the Matt Dinniman, the Dungeon Crawler Carl. It is the slowest of the ones that I've read so far, but I've also been in a really weird reading mood. I also have, where's that at? Hold on. Let's not flash anybody. I also have An Elderly Lady Is Up to No Good by Helene Thurston, which was this tiny ass little pocket sized book that I got in, I don't remember if it was the bins or a little free library. If you can't tell, I have been spending money on books because of many reasons, namely the economy. But yeah, I did put my bookmark in here because this was actually very cute. I only read like 2 pages of it, but it was the only thing that even kind of sounded appealing yesterday when I was trying to try a chapter. So there's my basically unhaul pile. I do not have to work the rest of the week, I don't think, that I know of, besides like watching the kids here or there. So I should be able to get a lot more reading done. I am currently catching up on some YouTube videos because I haven't watched anything, and those backlog very quickly if I go more than a week without watching anything. And I'm trying to think if there was anything exciting happening this week. I don't think there is. I'm really bummed out about the whole TikTok, like, upcoming community guideline changes. Please chat with me in the comments down below if you want to talk about that. I would love to. Definitely still, like, kind of sad and too informed about the world and US politics in particular right now. So that, on top of being on my period, is really rough for my brain at the current moment. But yeah, we're trucking along. We're going to remember to vlog this week because I haven't done any in the last 2 days. And that's where I'm at. That is your update. Not really reading anything besides the Dungeon Crawler Carl. Does anybody else get in those moods where you're just like, I'm going to read physically, and then every single physical book that you own or have with you, you're like, no, not this one, or that one, or this one? Does that happen to anybody else? Maybe I'm just in a reading slump. I don't know. Maybe I'm in a life slump. Maybe I'm just sad about the world. I know I'm sad about the world because I've been an emotional roller coaster since, like, last weekend when I decided to catch up on the news and politics and stuff because I have to take breaks for my sanity. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I think that's all I have to update you on. I think we might go out later. If we do, I will try to remember to take some clips because I don't have any B-roll footage. I'm such a good vlogger. Do you ever just go on a nice long perusal stroll of the park with the people you're living with and their children, and then get a flat tire, and then have to lift Uber back with 2 children in a random lift? No? You've never had to do that? Me either, until now. It was a fun experience, and by fun I mean somewhat stressful. I didn't even know you could Uber, like, with kids. So, fun facts. Actually, I don't support Uber. I didn't know you could take a lift with kids. So, in case any parents needed to know that information, maybe that's common knowledge, especially if you're going to, like, an airport. Didn't know that. Yeah, it's been an evening. So, no reading has been had. I can't decide if I want to just down my energy drink and stay up because I slept most of the day due to working night shift last night, or if I'm just going to go to bed. My options if I stay up are make another coffee or drink my energy drink left over from night shift last night. I haven't made a decision yet. I also might just binge YouTube instead of reading anything. So that is the more likely possibility, if we're being honest. The short people problems. Ugh. Anybody else live in a desert climate where cold water is not really a thing? Actually, pause. I did it wrong. You'd think I'd be used to this, considering I've been here for a month. Tap cold, quick wash. Okay, that's fine. 32 years old, we know how to use a washer. Thanks. Anybody who has ever lived in a desert climate, do you know about how cold water is a finite resource, or about how everything is like, what's it called, tap cold out here? This is a new experience for me. If you didn't know, I am from Ohio, and I do not have that issue, nor have I had it before. So it's been an interesting adjustment, especially for laundry, especially for me who actually does try to take care of my clothes, and I get very upset if anything gets ruined. So when it comes to washing clothes, I'm so used to washing everything in cold water because most clothes are that, if you didn't know that. And it's been an adjustment for me having to do like quick washes and stuff because cold water is such a like finite resource out here when it's 108 degrees in the desert. It's been an adjustment for my brain. Oh, leave the shoes out here because we're doing laundry, and I have to remember to set a timer because I'm holding my phone. But yeah, that's my random rant of the afternoon. I am currently catching up on vlogging things today and doing laundry. I have not read anything. Unsure if I will read anything. I do want to try to finish the Dungeon Crawler Carl book in the next day or two. Today is Wednesday, hopefully before I finish this vlog, so we'll see. That's the plan. Hello, long time no update because I've had a headache all day. I have a strong suspicion that it might be from wildfire smoke because there is a huge, I believe it's still going, wildfire in California. If you didn't know, I'm in the Vegas area and it's been a little hazy, but I have not updated this vlog in like a full day or so. So we're getting a long rambling clip of me talking. I wanted to have a chat. I have my iPad out, which I don't know how I'm going to show this. I just wanted to talk about it. Maybe I'll actually go through the effort of like screenshotting each of their channels. We'll decide that later in editing because this video is supposed to go up tomorrow, but I think it's going to go up late because I don't have enough footage compared to what I would like to do for my weekly vlogs. So I'm going to go through my list of channels that I watch. I don't know if anybody finds this interesting. If you don't, sorry. You're going to learn that I watch a lot of both political vlogging and booktubers, with the occasional like other. But yeah, I'm just going to list off a bunch of their channels and what they generally post. And if you watch any of these, please let me know in the comments down below if they are YouTubers that you also enjoy, because I always find it fascinating seeing people talk about the YouTubers that they watch. So we're going from new activity first. So these are in no particular order besides they just posted as of today or very recently. So we have the Tim and April show. You've heard me talk about them. They talk about the dangers of Christian nationalism. They also have a podcast. I will definitely put that up because they're one of my favorites. We have the New Evangelicals, which is Tim's channel that started off all of the stuff, including the podcast with him and April. We have Legion Miller, if you would like to be updated of the horrors of America. She does a bunch of political commentary based on like what is going on in the current regime. We have Sai from Sai Loves Frogs, which I know she went very viral on TikTok years ago, but I've also loved her YouTube content. She's become one of my like comfort YouTubers. We have Ashley Inc. She tells scary stories. She's also famous from TikTok. We have Salem Tovar, who does a lot of, what are those called? I can't even think of the word for it. The like commentary, like not react channels, kind of reactions, just like internet drama and like interesting things on the internet. Those type of channels. We have Mr. Nightmare. He tells scary stories. I have like a handful of scary stories people that I think do like better than actual true crime. I feel like a lot of true crime just like almost fetishizes certain things. I like the way that the handful of horror YouTubers actually go about telling their stories and just like telling people stories rather than giving insight and stuff to it. I prefer that method. We have Swell Entertainment. She does a lot of commentary and like reviews of conventions and such. We have Loie Lane, who I love. She does a lot of TikTok horror compilations. She does mostly horror content, but I have followed Loie for years. I love her. We have Cult College, who is another like religious, like high control religious. I think she used to be Mormon. She does a lot of commentary of coming out of cults. Like her whole thing is that how to speak to people who are in a cult, which is very helpful in the current regime. We have Michelle Platty. She also does a lot of horror, or she's also known for her, what are those called? Mandela Effect videos. Spooky conspiracy Mandela effects. I find it fun. We have Drama Queen, who I love. She also does a lot of commentary on like things going on the internet, as well as her sister, who I'm sure will come up later, which is Haley. Oh, what is her channel name? When we get there, I'll let you know. We have Destiny Sidwell. Des is a huge booktuber who I actually really like the way that her content has shifted in the recent year, because I almost unsubscribed for her and still might, but also I feel like I liked a lot of the changes she's done to her content. So if you are not a fan of her in the past, maybe check her out again, because I'm on the fence about her. We have Hank Green. I have followed Vlogbrothers and Hank and John like since YouTube's inception. We have Jan Agaton, who obviously, if you are familiar with BookTube, is a huge booktuber. She reads mostly horror stuff. I love her channel. I love her aesthetic. I love everything about everything that she does. We have CJades, who also tells scary stories. Bishop Mortimer, who is somebody I found through TikTok and ended up on their YouTube channel when the first TikTok scare happened. And he's been reading through The Artist's Way, and I really like his vlogs. We have The Shades of Orange. She is a booktuber. She mostly reads sci-fi. We have Chelsea Callahan. She's one of the few New York vlogger YouTubers that I actually have continued to watch over the years. Many of them I have watched and unsubscribed within a couple of months. Well, children are crying. I'll be back. You don't have to stare at me the entire time that we do this. What else have we got? We've got Kay Saja. She does a lot of also commentary on certain things going on in the world. We have Larry. Obviously, Larry reads. If you're familiar with BookTube, you've probably seen her. We have Rach Loves Life. She does a lot of like trying out products and stuff. I've followed her for years. I just like her personality. We have Frankie Shelf. Love his channel. He is a Canadian YouTuber, booktuber really, who watches or reads a lot of like literary fiction, which is not my genre, so I get a lot of recommendations from him. We have Tara Michelle, who I've also followed for years. She's one of the few vloggers I've stuck with over the years and have never unsubscribed to. There have been a lot I've unsubscribed from. Here's Haley's channel, Halo Haley. This is Drama Queen's sister. This is really awkward trying to hold this and show you at the same time. We have The Simple Environmentalist. She does a lot of like sustainability content, which I find very interesting. I am not like fully sustainable or like eco in many ways, but I try to do little things here and there, and she's very helpful for ideas for that. We have Chilling Scares, also just scary story content. We have Meredith, who she has 2 new videos that I haven't watched. She is a member of Team Star Kid, and they film a lot of just cute, cozy vlog content. Even if you're not a Star Kid fan, you will absolutely enjoy their channel. And I highly recommend, because I feel like she does not have enough subscribers for how accessible I feel like her content is. Oh no, I've lost my place. Where was I? We have the Antibot. She does a lot of deconstruction content, like why Christian TikTok thinks Labubus are demonic. Love all of her deconstruction content. We have Morgan Long. She is also a very cozy, like, YouTuber. I don't watch a lot of cozy YouTubers. I have to really like their personality, and I quite like hers. We have Carrie Cakes. I've followed Carrie for, I want to say, at least since I started my own booktube channel, which was like 8 or 9 years ago. So she lives in Korea. She does a lot of vlogs. She also has a booktube channel that'll come up later. We have Monte Mater. She does a lot of deconstruction content. She's also, I don't remember if I found her on here or through TikTok, or if it was through like Tim and April's show. Unsure. And we have Kimberly Rodriguez. She does a lot of cozy witchy content. She is also a booktuber. We have Lauren Louise. She is Canadian, and she lives, I believe, in Winnipeg, or like a small town in Canada, and I just really like the vibe of her vlogs. We have Mr. Ballin, who I've followed since like 2020, which I feel like is around the time that he started his channel, Scary Stories. Rach Loves, this is her other product trying handle. We have Rachel from The Rating Fairy. I've been really enjoying her vlogs. She also just moved cross country, so I related heavily to her like moving vlogs. We have Woodland Bunny. She does a lot of just cozy booktube content. Book Refuge I've watched for forever. She's mostly romance based. We have Happily Ever April. She also is a romance, mostly romantasy reading booktuber. Dan and Phil Games. I've been subscribed to Dan and Phil since I feel like the beginning of time and the beginning of YouTube, and I've seen them live twice. If you don't know who Dan and Phil are you even a millennial? We have Heather McClary. She does a bunch of booktube content. I love her vibe and her vlogs. They're some of my favorites. We have Stephanie Bookish. She's a librarian, also a very solid booktuber to watch. We have Cecilia. She lives in, oh my god, what's it called? Svalbard, which is up in the Arctic Circle, and she vlogs her life. We have Katarina Ream. She is I believe, British booktuber. We have the Vlogbrothers, again, have watched since the inception of YouTube, I feel like. John Green and Hank Green. If you didn't know that John Green had a brother and has had a YouTube for forever, before he was even an author, or as big of an author as he is now. Here they are. We have Nicole Raffi. I've followed her for years. She just does a lot of commentary. She also started doing like favorites videos, which I really miss from old school YouTube. We have Beth Bartholomew. She is also a booktuber who is British, and I really enjoy the vibe of her vlogs. We have Tyler Bender. If I ever want to know what's going on the internet, she will probably tell me. We have Rachel from A Model Who's Read, also Canadian booktuber who I love. We have Carrie Can Read. This is Carrie's booktube channel. Who actually, fun facts, she follows me on my, for some reason, my personal Instagram. Don't know how that happened, nor why that happened there. I think it was before I even made a bookstagram. But fun facts, I can have that flex. We have Grace Nevitt. She also did she did a no buy year, which is how I found her. And she's been doing other content this year. She also made a booktube channel. We have Mr. Redacted, who I love. I watch her mostly on TikTok, which is why none of these are watched on here. But she is a teacher and does a lot of teacher content, which, if you didn't know, I was a teacher and have been for a while. We have Uncomfy. She does mostly artistic content. She made a lot of polymer clay things and has been taking a break from that to do other artistic ideas of hers. We have Sid from Sid Bookworm, booktuber who I really enjoy. Georgia May Reads, also a booktuber I really enjoy. Carla, also a booktuber I really enjoy. I watch a lot of booktube. We have Cups and Thoughts. She does a lot of those, the videos where you don't talk. It's all like captions for like calming music and stuff. I really enjoy her stuff. We have Elena, who I really, really love. She does a lot of queer bookish content. And I've been loving her channel. I've also been loving her TikToks if you're more of a TikTok person. We have Peach Appleby. She also is one of those YouTubers who does the caption content and doesn't talk in her vlogs. We have Aspen. Aspen Ovard is somebody I used to be. Actually, I want to chat about this one for a second. Hold on. Aspen is a YouTuber I followed for years and years. And then she went, when she had kids with her now ex-husband, I unfollowed her content because I didn't like the way that she like almost platformed her children in her content as if the children were I'm not a big family vlogger. I don't like mommy vlogger stuff. I do not like that. I think it's very exploitive of children. And I heard in recent years, I heard through the grapevine that she got divorced, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard also when I went and checked out her stuff that she stopped showing her kids in her content and always blurs their faces now that they're older. And I was like, okay, that I can get on board with. She also has recently come out as not straight. I don't know that she's put a label on it, but I've been really enjoying her like newer content. Is it groundbreaking? No, but I do think it's nice seeing that change in like old school YouTubers, because I feel like a lot of them that were really popular back in the day, if you didn't grow up on that level of YouTube back in the early 2000s, like 2010s, there was a vibe to a lot of the like beauty YouTubers, and I feel like she has broken out of that. So I really enjoy her stuff. What else has happened? Oh, we have Yana, another booktuber. She also does beauty content, I believe. John Wolf. Actually, here. This is his other channel, because his main channel, he's mostly known for his horror content, and so he had to make a second channel because the algorithm was punishing him to play anything else. And he is the only actual like gaming YouTuber I will watch, because he doesn't like scream obnoxiously at anything and like isn't annoying. So if you want a gaming YouTuber that is not Markiplier screaming level, highly recommend John's stuff. We have the Astral Library, is a booktuber I've found recently. I'm subscribed to the American Medical Association because we have to follow our own actual things on the internet now because of the current administration. We have Katie Steckley. She does a lot of like here's how to vlog content, which I find very helpful. We have Jess Owens, who is a booktuber. Oh, I missed one. We have Auntie Matrix. She tells scary stories. Rev Carla, who does a lot of deconstruction content. Reads with Rachel, who has been like actively fighting against book bans, which I really love those videos of hers. We have Steph from Starry Steph. I think that might actually be her TikTok handle, but she doesn't post that often, but I love that most of her stuff is queer stuff when she does post. We have Tad Stormer, who is a historian and has been trying to keep a lot of history alive, which has been difficult with the current administration. We're getting into people that I know don't post very often. We have Kate the Great. She's a favorite TikToker of mine. Who else in here actually posts? I think we're down to the bottom of people who don't post very often. We have April. Ajoy, who is the other half of the Tim and April show, deconstruction content. We have John Green. John never posts on his personal channel. We have Kurt Mega, who's a member of StarKid, who posts a lot of like interviews with members of StarKid and other projects that he's been working on. He is also a videographer. We have Spicy Cats Reads. She has become one of my favorite YouTubers in general, but really booktubers. I love the aesthetic of her vlogs. She is everything I would like to be. We have Hannah the Horrible, tells scary stories and also just like disturbing stories, not necessarily scary. She also does a lot of commentary about other things on the internet. She's really good at breaking down a lot of horror content on why it might not be paranormal. If you're into that, we have Madison Brown, who does a lot of just YouTube commentary things. We have All I Do Is Read, which is Allie, booktuber I've really enjoyed over the last couple of months. Who else have I not talked about? Oh no. What did I do? Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. Please pause. Okay, I figured it out. I did something and like made it smaller and it didn't like it. We have Happy Pancake. She also does a lot of commentary that has leaned more political in the last little while. This is really hard. I should have just like screen recorded, but I don't know how to do any of the screen recording things. You would think I would after like 8 years on YouTube. We have Tiny C, who does also a lot of commentary specifically on like racist things. We have Riley Murray, classic old school booktuber, love her. Christiane Jones, who just has been showing us her journey of getting published as an author. Oh, now it's out of order. Let's see if I can find more people we haven't talked about. Is that all of them? It's definitely not all of them because there's a lot of people that don't post regular. Oh, Wicked Reading. I think she just had her baby, so she hasn't been posting a lot. She's another booktuber I really, really love. She also lived very close to me where I lived in Ohio, so I loved watching her vlogs because I knew most of the areas that she would post about. Who else? We have Christian Schaefer. She is a van life vlogger who, again, doesn't post very often, but when she does, I love her vlogs. What else do we have? I think that's most of the people that post regularly. I'm obviously subscribed to a bunch of people who also only post shorts, which I don't really watch YouTube shorts. I'm more of a TikTok person, but if TikTok goes away again and ruins all of our progress over there on the political side of TikTok, then maybe we will go back to YouTube shorts. I feel like that might end up happening. And then obviously Dan and Phil's like personal channels. I think that's mostly it. But yeah, if you ever wondered the type of YouTubers that I watch, or if you're familiar with any of those people, drop a comment down in the comments down below because I love hearing about people talking about YouTubers that I've also watched. Because for me, I generally watch YouTube the way that a lot of people watch like TV and their favorite shows. I don't really watch shows or movies, so this is my form of like outlet, and I throw everything into a watch later and watch it when I can, and I'll just like throw the playlist on for my watch later and catch up whenever I can. But yeah, that's my long-winded post for the afternoon, and I do think I'm going to bring this vlog into tomorrow just so I can get a little more footage so that it is worth the editing and the watching.
Flood their comments because she made a video about them. And it always kind of reminds me of the sort of culture we're seeing online today where we justify bullying, harassing.
Hi, hello, it's Friday and this vlog's going up later tonight because I'm going to film a couple more clips today. I think I'm going to start rough editing a lot of the footage that I have over the next hour, and then we're going to a bins like outlet store type thing similar to the Gobo outlet, but not quite that. But yeah, I wanted to get some clips of that before I end the vlog. I don't think anything else interesting is happening today that I know of. I'd pay a credit card today, so anybody knows that feeling. Yay, Friday. But yeah, this has not been a very eventful vlog compared to the last one, in my opinion, because I was like down for the count, and I don't know if I was sick or if I just had like really bad like hormonal headaches, but I had really bad headaches for like 2 days in there and did a lot of sleeping on top of the overnights working. So yeah, that's my update for the day. I'm going to rough edit and then maybe read a little bit before we go to the outlet. I don't even think I've talked about what I read very much at all. I did end up re-DNFing the We Can All Save Us, We Can Save Us All, whatever that book is called, the one I talked about earlier. I can't do the pretentious like Princeton Ivy League kids at the end of the world. They were getting on my last nerve, and I read almost 200 pages of them. So I'm gonna get rid of that. That went straight into the little free library pile, and then I'm not trying it again. So hopefully I can find a handful of books at the outlets today. They had a lot of books in some of the bins, especially the 50-cent bins, which are the ones that I looked at last time. And a lot of them are like second, third books in a very popular series. Like I saw quite a bit of Rena Kent and like that Mafia series in there, which is not a series I'm particularly interested in, but hopefully they have some books when we go today. If we do, I will do I'm an Evil Call if I can remember to get clips. But yeah, that's the plan for the day. Hello, I'm here to film my mini haul from the bins. Got a bunch of random stuff. Mainly, we got a bunch of COVID tests because we're in a COVID surge. In case you didn't know that, we are at higher rates than we were in 2021. So there's that. And those also have gotten stupidly expensive, and they no longer offer any free ones that I know of. If you know of anywhere that still offers free COVID tests, I don't. Please let me know. I only got 2 books. I got A Royal Commitment, 10 Years of Marriage and Activism, The Crown Prince of Manvandara, and The Crown Prince of DeAndre Duke of, I am not going to butcher that, but these are 2 Indian princes who have been married for a while and have been fighting for LGBT rights over in India. So I thought I would check that out because I don't know anything about India. And then we have, I don't know why they wrap some of these books. There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason. Maybe it's just returns. I don't know. But I got The Incarceration Explosion, We Must Do Better, and this is about racism and other issues within our prisons here in the US. And I always try to pick up books about US incarceration in general because it is inherently racist, and we have a huge issue with that in America. And then I have some signs. I have the hope, kindness, equality, inclusion, diversity, love signs that you see at a lot of, at least I feel like I see at a lot of little free libraries. We have those hanging pride flags of like all of them. I have nothing to decorate here. And then we have more ones, but these ones come with the sticks. And then perhaps my favorite thing that I got, and I hope that it is oversized because I like my t-shirts oversized. Are you? Oh yeah, you look. We have the original founding fathers, and it's the natives in front of Mount Rushmore. Who we have on here? Does it say? Chief Joseph, Sitting Bull, Geronimo, and Red Cloud. This is me aesthetic because I have an issue with the genocide that we did in America, colonizing it. That's why I'm not hardcore on America anything, and I was like this before all of the shenanigans of the Trump regime of the last couple of years, but obviously it's gotten worse. But yeah, that's my little haul. A bunch of COVID tests, some flags, 2 books, and a shirt. But I'm going to end the vlog here just so I can get this uploaded hopefully before tonight. It is so hazy outside. I don't know if there's even an air quality warning. If you are anywhere on the West Coast or anywhere near Vegas, please let me know if there is an air quality warning and they're not just telling us. And then I might have to do with the defunding of NOAA if you're kept up on politics of what this regime is doing all over the place. But I, it doesn't get super hazy here, at least not in my experience in the month and a half that I've been here. So I don't know what's going on out there, but that is my vlog for the week. I am going to add in any TikToks I have made in the last week or so and just add them on to the end of this. If you are interested, if you are not somebody who's on TikTok and you still want to hear my thoughts, I'll add a few of them at the end of this video. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time. Random thought of the day because of some discourse in the Star Kid community. This isn't necessarily pertaining to Star Kid, so if you're not familiar with them, you'll be okay. You'll be able to follow along. But I truly don't know if the like anti-intellectual movement that's been going on in America, really everywhere, but especially America, it feels like, or maybe it just feels like that because we live here, of people unable to like discern certain things about media. So for example, the example I am using is Star Kids musical that I just went and saw in LA. It's called The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. It's literally about a, in the simplest terms without any nuance, a monster who has come to create a hive mind to take over the bodies of people in a small town and force them to partake in his vision, which he calls the final solution. Which, if you're familiar with that term and dare to say this isn't political, I don't understand you. There was also a song literally called America is Great Again in the musical. The show was written in 2018, and going to see it now with the remount that they did and hearing them sing America is Great Again with the lyrics, I will, if you've never heard of it, please just go search The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals Star Kid on YouTube. It will come up. They're going to have a new filmed version of it here in a couple of months, but the old one is still up if you would like to go watch it and know what I'm talking about. But the idea that there is a song called America is Great Again that was written 2 years after that person was in office the first time, and people are like, it's just a silly little show. I understand that people missed like a lot of the political messaging back in 2018 when it first came out. I also, like, Guy was not one of my favorite musicals for a long time when it came to compared to other shows. But seeing it now and seeing the time period that they decided to remount it, it feels so much more important because it's, I don't understand the people that like choose to say, "Oh, it's not that deep," or "It's not political." It feels like the same conversation people were having about books back in November, which, if you didn't know, I exist in the booktube space and slightly book talk, but I don't do it as much over here. And people were like, "Oh, books aren't political." I was like, the very reason that you are able to read the books, especially the romance smut books, which are a very new thing. Not that they didn't exist, but obviously they're more prevalent now because of the internet and book talk. The very reason that you can read and read things like that is because of politics and people being like, oh, this isn't about politics. Everything is about it. And so I need people to like be more socially aware. And I will never understand the people that stick their like heads in the sand, for lack of a better term, to everything that's going on. I understand needing like escapism breaks, but to the level that you can't even like discern a certain messaging that the artist has specifically put in a show or a movie or a video game, anything. I don't understand that level of not only lack of self-awareness, but the ability to just like turn your brain off, and people refusing to participate is how we got to where we are now. That's my comment on that. I hope it was coherent. You know, when people tell me that climate change isn't real, I remember that I just moved cross country and we moved in with friends of my partner's while he's doing all of his work stuff. Mainly because we got priced out of my parents' house, which is where we were living before, because the economy is shit. And then I realized moving out here in the fucking desert, it's 110 degrees outside. And everybody's just like, that's normal. I don't think it is.
Hot take. You not wanting to interact with the media. Fucking hell. You not wanting to interact with the media that is clearly political does not mean that the media is not political. And telling people, oh, just let the kids pretend it's a silly little thing, is also undermining to children, actual children who are way smarter than you think. That whole, oh, it's not that deep argument is how we got into this position in the first place and why we are under the regime that we are in. Sometimes it is actually that deep, and a lot of things fucking are. And I will die on that hill. I can't stand when people just like want to watch stuff because it's fun and silly, when the fun and silly thing clearly is not. It's not. It's actually that serious sometimes. End rant. Thank you for coming to my
No, but why did every single Christian youth group on the planet do this? Especially after that Lifehouse skit came out. Oh my god. Were all of us obsessed with that? I'm pretty sure most of us were. I don't even know what. I think I looked up the event one time, but I don't know what church in particular put on that Lifehouse everything skit that everybody became obsessed with it. And then all of a sudden everything became a Christian song, even though it's absolutely not. My youth group in particular would combine this with Fill Me Up by Kim Walker or Jesus Culture or whomstever, and we would do from like the second verse of Fill Me Up of the 7 words that exist in that song. And then we would do the bridge with Everything. And that was something we sang very often. Did you also do that?